I think we should record this for me. Come on. So let's take an example. I'm from Greece, okay? So in my book, I talk about Greece during the wars with Sparta and Athens, 450 BC. And so why were the Greeks sitting there talking about philosophy and science? And up north in Germany, the cave people were clubbing each other and collecting berries at the same time. So because they were at the center of trade and they had so much money that they didn't really need to work or go and hunt that day to eat and go tomorrow hunting food to survive. So I think what's going to happen is, and you say capitalist society, I don't know what kind of society we're going to have. I think there's all terms that kind of don't fit anymore. So I think AI is going to make it so we have a lot more wealth. Okay? Crypto, Bitcoin is going to make it so we have more wealth, okay, because our monetary system is broken. So if you take the example of people losing jobs, so new jobs was meant to be 178,000 today, and it was 114,000. Okay, and people say, "Oh, we entered a recession, so we have the Federal Reserve playing games with us." If it's a private entity that says, "Let's raise interest rates to stifle the economy or slow down. Oh, we did it too much. Now let's go the opposite way. Oh my God, now it's going in the opposite direction." It's ridiculous. I watched the Powell and all these people seriously talking to each other about interest rates and job creation. And I'm thinking, why are you even talking about these subjects? Why don't you just leave? Go away. So I think we'll have to feed. Why do we have homeless, 60,000 homeless people in LA? And we have Zuckerberg. Why do we have these two opposites? Is it a shame that 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck?
Well, I think that there's this human need for stability, right? So like so I'm working on a startup that provides a basic human need for interacting with ads. So like, I understand that I think people, well, so like specifically in Los Angeles County, there's way more than 2,000. There's probably over 100,000 who are experiencing homelessness in Los Angeles County. And not even including, but like, I think that there's this fundamental, we have to revisit the UN Declaration of Human Rights. And we have frameworks since World War II that support peace and human rights, or sorry, I'm not an expert on like human rights or anything like that, but like we have to first create infrastructure to basically guarantee human rights to everyone in the world, regardless of wealth. And things like food, right? Food is a universal human right. No one should die in the 21st century of starvation, especially in places like India and Africa, Pakistan, and so forth. There's enough wealth in the world for us to deliver food. But the problem is human greed. Human greed is systemic to human nature. In human nature, anytime it gets a chance, will upend systems that attempt utopia. Right? So like, if you think about the Communist Manifesto, right, like Marx and Friedrich Engels, right, what they wrote was pure genius, but put into practice, communism has failed all over the world. Every single country it was implemented, it has failed at its mission to provide basic services. And I'm not saying communism is 100% wrong, but what I'm saying though is that every single country it has failed because communism is as an economic entity. It's not a political. It's a fiscal policy, and people conflate it with politics. It's a fiscal economic policy. Is not compatible with abundance scarcity, and so like. Getting AI, artificial general intelligence, is the prerequisite for abundance. Because I don't think we're going to be able to create fusion reactors. I don't think we're going to be able to figure out how to create almost like unlimited energy sources without artificial general intelligence. There's still going to be disease. There's still going to be issues, but there's also natural scarcity, like prime real estate, right? You know, there's a reason why home prices are $40 million in La Jolla or in Laguna Beach, because there's only one Laguna Beach. There's only one La Jolla. So how do we deal with the natural scarcities that exist here on Earth, right? Like prime real estate or like age, right? Like someone who's younger has more economic value than someone who's older, right? So there's these inherent inequalities that exist that will exist permanently, right? So long as we live in a material world, right? In capitalism reflects that. That's just the unfortunate truth of our universe, is that there is scarcity. And so, and when there's scarcity, there's going to be dichotomy, there's going to be inequality.
But scarcity is created, okay? Because we should be abundant, and with technology, it should be deflation.
So something I think about, what I like about the chatbot tutor and a more positive outcome potentially is, so I'm from Brooklyn and my high school shut down and had like a 30% graduation rate. And I remember thinking to myself, we weren't that bad. I mean, in terms of like, but I felt like we didn't have the resources. And the thing is, those neighborhoods historically were, I mean, just think Mike Tyson and John Gotti are from the same neighborhood, different generation. That neighborhood in Brooklyn has been bad for 200 years. Nothing's worked. But point being is, I kind of feel like with a chatbot tutor now with the cell phone and the chat GPT, there's some hidden gems in those neighborhoods. So I just use Jay-Z as an example. If you don't need to know about his rhymes, he's very intricate, but also he's a billionaire. He has that talent. It was just never developed. He never had the resources. So I kind of feel like with AI now, it democratized everything. Now, there's almost no large language model or chatbot that the richest person in the world can access that a poor person can't. So what I feel is now, if you don't have the resources, you bad school, bad neighborhood, whatever, now, if you're that intellectually curious, you can get caught up quickly. And so now you can, that's human capital that's been lost for the past, like those neighborhoods. That's human capital that was never materialized.
Says keyword that's important, curiosity. Okay, curiosity is what creates these people that strive, because a lot of people are not curious.
Goes back to that
Well-
extreme ownership, because some people that need to be squeezed out of a program in which they do not fit, that's keeping them afloat, frees them to discover other passions and creation, where it's like we've pigeonholed people's functions, and when they can be released from that.
So this is where I think AI can really make a difference. And I don't want to be the guy who's like, yeah, I'm a Marine. I'm not that guy, but I'll just use an example. So
You know, that guy right now.
but so the SEALs, very, very tough to become a SEAL, and they have a high attrition rate. So they've been collecting data since the 40s. So they started using AI to better select who is going to, so, and the algorithms, it started like, it might not be as predictive as who's gonna succeed, but it was really good at times like, hey, don't even waste your time with, it's not gonna happen. So where I'm going with this is, if the AI can better assess someone's skills, their interests, and their aptitude, then you can help maximize their human capital, because, all right, this person is really bad at math, but this person is really good at. So where I'm going with this is, what the SEAL started doing, and I kind of want to see it spread throughout, is, now with all this data, you can give an assessment. And there are a lot of hidden gems out there. So Congress mandated that the number of special forces must increase by this number without lowering standards. So what did the services do? They just started flooding, like, it's not efficient and it's not sustainable. The goal is to better assess who will but also assess them. There's a Navy SEAL candidate, a 12-year-old, who doesn't know that they have the potential. So if you can find them early and develop them, so if you think about sports, Stephon Marbury, we were in high school at the same time, we never played against each other, but where I'm going with this, he can hit 30 3-pointers in a row at the age of 12. Somebody saw that and said, I'm gonna work with him and developed him. So where I'm going with this is if the AI is focused on assessing skills, interests, and aptitude, and also the military developed a test for non-academic skills, grit, resilience. These are things that's not like 2 + 2, but, and just keeping the sports analogy going, if you're familiar with Tom Brady, the last man drafted, but became the greatest quarterback ever because he wasn't that athletic, but he overcame it because he had grit and resilience and discipline. So ultimately, if the AI can help identify that and then develop it, now those people, so when somebody says like, oh, they're not intellectually curious, I'm like, no, they're curious about something. We just need to identify it and develop it. And I kind of think that's where we can get more positive benefit.
Okay, so let's say this, AI is good for all, okay? We need to figure out where it fits. We're going to learn, we're gonna make a lot of mistakes. And there's gonna be some big problems that when they happen, we're gonna say, oh my God, we should have done something about this. So that's the process, okay? I think it's nobody knows, because when you asked me if I'm an AI expert, remember? And I said, okay, I will tell you I'm an AI expert, but we'll have a conversation. And 30 minutes later, ask me, I'm gonna ask you if I'm an AI expert, okay? And I can say that you're an AI expert, I'm an AI expert, but we really aren't, okay?
Yeah.
Because there's no such thing. Nobody knows. It's not like it's been around for so long that we all seasoned, even though I've been studying it for 40 years. So I think that we are learning. We're on this edge where we just started scratching the surface. Oh, and as a joke, what does meta mean?
Inside something that's composite.
No.
Meta, like the word meta.
Yeah, the name of your company.
Well, I don't work in meta anymore.
Oh,
Like, I mean, meta, like something that's meta to something else is something that's internal or a composite of something bigger. Like, like a meta task.
This is a trick question, by the way. You did the same thing to me last. Don't take the bait. I know where you're going.
okay, what is it, what's the language it's derived from? What is the,
Greek.
okay.
Right.
So it's very simple. It's and Cheryl said to me it's Latin because Mark Zuckerberg said it's Latin. And so I said, no, it's a Greek word that we use today. And it's, for example, if I used it in a sentence, pasadon meta, okay, I'll see you afterwards. So it's the afterlife or after.
I think I know everything. I mean, I want to ask, could I ask you a question?
No.
So, okay.
It's prohibited.
So I think artificial general, well, first I'll say a statement. I think AGI is solved. I
Mhm.
think it's solved.
Yeah,
I think we're literally sitting on it right now. And I think that it's an enormous injustice that we don't know what's actually going on.
I agree. I agree.
Even the experts, I don't think everyone knows what's actually.
No.
But I want to ask everyone in the room, is it okay if I ask this question? What is the most important basic human right that you think everyone should have? Regardless, everyone, there's no exception. It is a human right and it should exist universally. And it's something that does not exist or that is not met to its fullest right now.
The right to live.
The right to live,
Medical care,
healthcare.
medical care, yeah.
That's the most important thing? Yeah, the singular, or a really important thing that's lacking, that's word was.
It's like multiple needs, human needs, so like I can't exactly make one. I guess they're.
Employment.
True. So maybe enough for water.
Water.
I would know.
Nourishment,
Yeah,
nourishment.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, so food, healthcare, the right to live. So meaning no one can take your life away from you. Whether that be the death penalty or anything else, right? Murder, obviously. Anything else?
Yeah, that was- come on.
Well, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but like your own constitution. So like if I wanna leave, go here, I'll go here. If I wanna be somewhere, I get the right to sit and stay.
Freedom, is that what that?
So I don't know if freedom means the same thing, like the constitution to decide what you wanna do with your own life.
So like the right to freedom of speech. The freedom of movement, freedom of,
And thinking, that's it, like, kind of like.
Yeah.
okay, thank you. You mentioned employment, so like.
I was joking, cause, when she was,
Sorry, Dawn, that's it.
But like,
when she was like, and I was just like, employment, she's like, yeah.
so, okay, so healthcare, everyone should have access to adequate healthcare. No one should die because they don't have access to healthcare. No one should die because because they don't have food, meaning there shouldn't be paywalls behind food.
Shelter.
Shelter, everyone should have access to shelter. Everyone should have access to the right to freedom of speech. Everyone should have access to the right to move, to be where they want, so the freedom to roam.
For banking, because 3 billion people on this planet are unbanked. That means they can't go and participate in our economy.
Okay, so the freedom to financial success and services. Like basically like services, and financial wellness. Currency, right to currency. Right to currency.
Well, right to your own bank account or bank.
Okay, so a right,
Control of your own monetary system.
okay, so like a right to have
I have a
access
vote for that.
to financial services that offer financial success, that allow financial success. So like how can we coexist with AI? Where all of these basic human needs are met without capitalism? And that's, so like, is the only path abundance? Because until we have abundance, how do we coexist with a system that is inherently contradictory of it in its effect on capitalism? To meet all these basic human needs that everyone deserves to have.
Well, first of all, I think we're going on a trajectory where we are now nationalistic. Look at what's happening in Europe, in Middle East. All these countries are fighting, they're increasing budgets for military. We're fighting everywhere. So I think for you to achieve anything close to that, I think a couple of decades have to pass where we find our way back. Because right now, all we want to do is kill and not let immigrants come into our country. Look at Finland, look at Sweden, look at the UK, Holland. They're shutting down their borders. They're building walls in Poland because Belarus is giving permits to people from Afghanistan and Syria to come to Belarus, and then they're helping them get across the border to create problems. So I think when you talk about those concepts, they're foreign to us now in terms of how we are reacting to each other on different fronts in Lebanon, Gaza, everywhere. I don't know if I'm the only person that knows about what's happening internationally, but things don't look good. And we're having a monetary failure, a banking failure. We've got lots of guns. That's how we made the dollar predominant. America again, make it very good. So we're we're itching to pull the trigger somewhere, you know that. Because that's how we got out of the situation we were. And the only reason we have taxation, because why did we have the Boston Tea Party? We wanted to avoid being taxed by the English, isn't it? But then Civil
How'd that
War,
work out?
Without representation,
yeah. But
which
then-
is happening here in California. I mean, like their gas tax, right? Like, I mean, California state legislature is taxing the hell out of California. It's like every single opportunity they get.
Yeah, they have to continue because there's no way. They have to create more
Right.
debt.
What's the lesser of two evils? Which state do you want to live in? Texas, where, you have no rights, they're trying to take away your rights. We're living in Andy's state.
Hey, I came for the AI. I thought it was
Yeah, we actually have a family dinner thing, but great mastermind. I could stay here for hours. Good to see everybody.
I want to
And
know about Meta. I looked up, there's a million Metas on one.
And one TA. Let me
Yeah,
get it.
it is a lot.
Do you have an iPhone?
Yes.
Um,
I don't know how to do that thing. I heard about the,
You're locked
So
in.
this, first one, you know, little spot,
Okay.
we'll get a little more big.
Cool. let me see, share.
Ask questions, be a part or.
So I've seen somebody did that to me at the UCSD event. They just went, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yes, invited you.
Was that you? Okay. I'm gonna look up, Meta.
Okay.
Learn more about it.
Nice to see everybody. I see you again. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'd love to come and to more of these. It's great. You guys are brilliant. I really appreciate the time. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we kind of got lost in the rails there.
Facebook, I don't know if you read it already. So they talk about.
Absolutely.
Like, when they talk about reducing that intentionally, because I think it's,
We built a marine.
Oh.
to help them benefit packages, that's exactly what he was asking for.
So, no, so here's the thing, I made one and it's a problem. I just, it's a rag.
I was talking about my.
It's a city state environment. I'm like, I can't do that. I don't know that in a neighborhood office. Oh, so that's what I was. Yeah. The source. You know, what's your last name?
What's Joe's last name? Joe's last name, who's,
Guzman or is that the space government?
I'm going.
he collects debris.
Small to medium size. Everyone else is going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll forward you.
I know what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I think that, so we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I have it at home, but I texted you, so yeah. It's on the front of your card. I have your card.
It's my first one to think about things, navigate the service line. Is I always.
Yeah, well, it can be, and there's a lot of.
I think
When veterans
sure.
end up on usually like
And unless you're
suicide or
somebody
getting in a crime,
who's
it's usually there's a triggering thing, like you got fired or something, and it's spiraling out of control. But I mean, there's a thing
Because
that like, if you're homeless, I told that job training is gonna have that, you're unemployed.
Some
But they just don't know, so it's a shame when it starts a downward spiral, and you could have brought it up in the days, no, they had benefit. Like, yeah, I don't care, I'm like, oh, I didn't know, they just go to the. Oh, there you go. So that's where the child could have been handy before it spirals into violence, jail, or something. I was very, I don't hear a spot.
Well, then they're.
So, the thing is, we have a time, the values is you have and sometimes it's like, and then all the rules and regulations, so it's like, yeah, you try free college, but you can only, but if, whoa, I can't.
Getting to, like, my bill, cable.
Why?
Like, so the funny thing is, I gotta go out, I'm going for give them a discount. The thing is, I'm still. So they're like, you know, I don't like that. It's just too much to keep up with. So imagine how much money I would do.
For that education.
So.
Require that knowledge to teach that class. So not to the extremism, but just about the two ideals. where people still have that sense of pride.
So this is.
And we it is complicated. You make lots of insurance agents.
Okay, so we're trying to solve.
Because while I'm on the phone or while
Virtually
we're
no
like,
right. There's marginal answers that are better than others.
but I wouldn't get. So here's the thing,
It's gonna involve compromise,
do you have leads?
it's gonna involve
Professor, you
diverse, diverse thoughts. So like.
So if you're
audiences,
old, like,
solving
some point in reinvent, I mean, well, I remember you said
People like
reinvent
yourself. And everyone,
But, so here's
from
the
all
thing.
different walks of
I,
life,
I'll send it,
all different
you
areas
want the
of the world,
credential.
all different
and it's chat
socioeconomic
for the
backgrounds.
insurance
that help
agent.
solve these
So the
issues.
insurance agent, he said that 6 months to the
I don't
get
think
trained
you
on
just
how
have
to fix
one
2
group
months.
of people,
You just teach them how to use
what it meant, so.
they're able to get better.
Regarding that.
And 2 months, they're showing the profession for a year.
Like.
So just want the chat on hand, how the chat on is coaching them, like.
My advice to you
Tables of
is-
speech to speak to the client.
Do
based on
whatever you
client
can
needs. And
to get
it's not complicated. And what is this? So, let's.
Like,
And
whether
if you want-
it's
you know some contacts,
anything else,
here, we can
try to
put
get
together.
yourself
So.
$100,000 to $200,000,
Companies
okay?
that can use our
Because
service.
financial success.
So
is
we are
an
optimized
essential
for banking,
moat
financial
that will
services, and
protect you
insurance. So.
from, like,
I'm
I think UBI is very scary.
We're prototyping with the new.
I think it's a
That's
scary.
like 5 bars. Different than what Palantir-
So I would say try
So
like.
military just gave Palantir $880 reluctantly, not when you. There's not enough
It's
competition.
like, enjoy the things that interest you.
So when we talk about your info is now. The military is so that's why I'm prototyping with the new one right now. Because when you start platform, everything is
Like
not
having a
electricity.
50-year
You can't see what you.
And
You're doing.
everybody
It's just, and you don't own everything,
Like-
you don't own everything, you just give it. We're competitors. I'll tell you that. They want, the thing is, they don't have enough money to out here. They're doing the fund, so they don't have one front solution. I'm like, that's how they get pricing. Don't worry about it. So if they really want you, they'll expedite. So, but I really want to talk in terms of, I feel like there may be places for us to work with, like, we don't make the avatars. We just, the no programs, it's not, here's the trick.
But we don't need it.
I can correct the chat, so let's add it, if you ask a question, if you know the answer, then we give you the wrong answer.
Suggestion.
Go down, go down. So we allow users to correct the chat box.
Is it hard?
It doesn't mean it's using the, it's used by multiple people.
So the users can create multiple chat bots, so that's why I'm like the administrator, like the chat, the same with the Chinese teacher. The teacher coaches the chat box, and you can create, like, this chat, you can give different personas. You tell, Marina means it's like, all right, you activated this chat box, you automate, I had everything, and it's needed, and beyond that, then you contact me, or if there's a question the chat box can answer, let me know, I'll answer it, now it's in the knowledge base, if you ever see that question again, you go to the answer. So you can make multiple and different use cases, but. So what I did was the chat.
It's like the.
Tough question. And then, depending on how it answers that, and then, now I'm just like, okay,
Sorry.
fix it.
Okay, good luck.
Chat GPT, you can't.
Let me know if you need a ride.
That's fine.
Yeah. Oh.
It's okay. We let that kind of. We're rough.
Asterisk.
It's rough.
Until I see knock it off.
So, we
Yeah,
use
great.
symbolic AI with multiple LLMs. Open and close, and we have proprietary. So, for the things I work with banks, financial services and insurance, there's no market. A lot of money's gonna get lost, yeah, exposed.
Yeah,
So, but, stop, if, let's go in.
Yeah.
Sign up for Innovation Day, trying to get Accenture to sponsor, to get involved. So, and
I'm actually from
there's a
Philadelphia.
really. Set up something with Accenture and these big companies in an event. So, my plan is just to find out those companies. And what I really wanna do is those companies that can't afford Accenture or need AI,
Yeah.
now I can refer them to you. So startups.
No, no,
You're like. Hello, Jared.
no.
So the thing is, because when I was watching the big company, and
Step outside.
we need,
But you know,
we even have lower. We even have lower prices to start focusing on small and medium sized businesses. We're not looking for that. And we don't maybe have that.
it's very started.
A lot of.
It's an
Accenture is
state
like.
where people.
And have a.
So,
And then it'll be a 5-year plan.
So it's like It's an
So
Apple
the thing I like about myself.
where we run.
You test it out.
You interact with
What
your
I did is, I was going down Accenture, like, I don't like the way they do business. And I have a feeling they're figuring it out, like, consulting.
And.
Why would I have to consult when I get a chat bot that's a domain
To
expert?
be able to go to like,
Yeah.
play, spend your points without having.
So, but the way the business model for Accenture is, hey, where are you in your AI journey? We can consult you on how to implement AI.
So we sell you.
You don't get it.
So we show advertisers.
Some people be like, hey, I'll get
So
one
we
kind of.
show advertisers, so when an advertiser runs an ad trade, we personalize our audience.
Some of what.
Based on the advertisers. needs. So when you run an ad on Facebook, or you run an ad on Google AdWords, right?
So the thing you want to do,
It's NPI blockchain.
so one thing you do that, like, so my startup, we don't do consulting, we just give them. So I introduced my CEO to Accenture and we're trying to figure out a partnership.
So.
And Accenture do the consulting and then we just pay the monthly bill.
That's fine, 38 years I was talking to companies with IT.
Mhm.
How do you do IT? What other companies today, it's like, no, we need to buy this. The CEOs, no, we're not buying any basic.
Oh, with advertisers?
I was fighting that battle, so now I'm taking the IT and replacing.
So there's
AI.
3 different
Mhm.
stakeholders, there's
Businesses.
restaurants,
helping them
and
create
we have
same
people that are
outcome.
interested in.
The challenge, one, there's a lot of bad companies out there.
And we have.
Rumors, like, if they had a bad experience with AI, like, this is a rip-off. I'm like, no, that company.
For
So,
example, like two districts, just pull the plug in the AI box.
Yeah.
see, it wasn't performing, it was ineffective, it was.
It's been, they put money in it, and somehow the company that builds this, find all the employees.
See, yeah.
And I don't know the real reason.
And we're launching kind of like in,
To demonstrate.
we're launching in San Francisco.
So you know where, I know that there was an initiative, so California has 168 community colleges.
Just kind of
So
rallying.
you can help, use a chatbot to help people with registering. That's easy enough. But there's a lot of opportunities out there. So I'm gonna leave with, what's your story? What's your name? and-
So the big
Oh,
companies are providing.
Which school?
San Diego State.
Okay.
Companies are providing. So the way it works is advertisers advertise.
Okay.
Consumers interact with ads, right? We create bills advertisers. So.
Like the months.
Are you familiar with the digital?
Oh, look, I graduated with a daughter.
We're not.
This is my turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a certificate for science.
It is a lot of, like, now everybody's getting AI training.
Appreciate you.
Hey, yeah, I got it.
I'm glad you showed up even though it's kind of sketchy.
Yeah. I was like, where am I going? I was like, yo, tell my mother I love her.
But this is where I look by the time I have an office here.
Okay.
It's like pushing you.
And you know what? I know a guy who's investing in AI locally, depending on what you have, I'm like, I can see myself like to connect, you're like, what? All right, nice meeting you. Nice meeting you.
So you ran an Instagram ad, you probably ran me after you met.
Yeah, I was.
You were billed for it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Based on the performance of your account. Anyway, you're, I'll give you an because you're look like, basically as a customer, all you do is you just scroll through our feed, you get points, and then you have enough points, you can spend those. You can see the restaurants that you have, and you'll, and then you can shop at restaurants, make recommendations after. Then you menu item, and then the points. And you can spend it all.
No, without.